Okay, so today's kind of DIY is I'm working on the scissor lift that I bought a couple years back um, from our local rental United rental place. Um, so it worked really well for me for the last couple years. I started having some issues with it um, this past couple of weeks. I was wanting to go do a big job, and the thing wouldn't move. You could hear it powering up, um, but it wouldn't go back or forward, and it wouldn't lift. Um, it sounded like it wanted to work, but it would never move. So, I checked the batteries and had them checked out. One of them checked out bad. So I went ahead and replaced it, but it still was giving me some issues. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and change out all the batteries. The battery trays on the other side on this model right here. So I went ahead and changed out all the batteries, charged it up, and it's still doing the same thing. And so I opened, this side up to check everything out, wires. Everything looked good. Everything I was checking looked good. I did contact somebody to try to help me out. But while I was waiting on them to get back, I noticed that if I tapped on the motor just slightly, it would start to work. It would go up, down, and it would work for a little bit, and then it would stop. And I'd do it again, and it'd start working again. And I was thinking, well, I wonder if it's a bad motor, but I wasn't really hitting it hard enough to jar anything. I just barely giving it a little tap. So the guy finally got back to me, and he's like, well, it sounds like either replace the motor or check the brushes. So I was thinking, well, this thing, I didn't know it had brushes on there for me to check, but pull these little covers off. It was real dirty in there. I blew it all out. There's a lot of dust in there, and it's working fine now. I think maybe it was just a contact issue or something, but I'm gonna go ahead and replace these brushes out. I'm gonna have to pull this motor out to do it because it's got the brushes, got two of them on the bottom side, and the only way to get to it is pull the motor out. But I don't want to be on a big job and be up in the air or something. This thing just start quit working on me. So I'm gonna replace those just to eliminate any further issues. But looks like it's just got a couple bolts on this side. Got some on the back side are going to be kind of hard to get to. I'll probably release a couple of hoses and of course the wiring to there just to get it out, and then I'll see if I can get these brushes replaced. But no, it's not like a home DIY or anything like that, but I thought, well, if I make a little short video or something on maybe somebody else has one of these scissor lifts and they're having some kind of issues, because I was looking everywhere on YouTube and everywhere else trying to find some type of troubleshooting the issue that I was having, but I just couldn't get anything to work. I did find out that these things have a like a limit switch over here on the bottom, right here underneath, right there. And that thing, if this thing is loose or not set right, it won't let the machine come up or down. I did find that out. But it's a Skyjack 3219. Like I said, I bought it used from my local United Rentals rental place, and it's just it's been fine for me. It's just started having this issue, and so I'm gonna see if this will fix it. But just to kind of give somebody else maybe is working on their stuff and you know, maybe they're having some issue, maybe this will help them out, and that's what it's all about. I'm gonna get this motor out and then I'll take another video. Okay, so I got this motor finally out, and as you can see, it's, you know, it's got the brushes up top, but it also has some down here in the bottom right here when you remove those covers on both sides. So it's a little pain to get to the bolts on the back, but just a fun fact here, there's 2 bolts you can take off on the bottom, and that whole plate will just come up, and you don't have to fight these over here. I mean, that would have been nice to know if I could have seen that first. I could have just taken 2 instead of the 4, and it would have came out, and I wouldn't have been able to have to fight these that were in the back. But luckily I had one of these that bends extensions, so I could get back there. But just, you know, if somebody sees this video, that's what it's all about. I mean, maybe somebody needs to change out a motor on one of these things, and that, you know, they can just take out these 2. They got bolts on the bottom. I don't know if you can see under there. There's a couple of bolts underneath this platform, and you unloosen those. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to take them loose, and then you know, try to go in. Well, I don't know, it might be kind of hard to line it up once you drop your motor in with a plate. You can't see these. I mean, it might be, you know, I don't know, they don't make it real easy to work on. I guess they want you to call somebody and pay them the big bucks, but like me, I work for myself, so I don't have the big bucks to be paying somebody to come out here to do something that I might be able to do myself. I mean, if I get into a little area that I don't know, that, you know, that's when you need to reach out to somebody that knows, you know, if it's, especially if it's something that's got something to do with, you know, something safety wise. But like I said, I mean, just for guys that, you know, might come across this video and see that, you know, at least see what I'm doing, and maybe they can learn from my mistakes, and not have to fight, you know, so much to do, you know, to change one of these motors out, or change the brushes out. But I just wanted to point that out. So as you can see, I got the new ones put in. This kit that I got off of Amazon, it came with the springs, new springs, along with the new brushes, and you can see the old clips, or spring clips, are pretty corroded, but these were a little bit hard to get in. They're kind of hard to fight to get them in, but it's a little bit of job, but it's manageable. Here's the old brushes. They're not too bad, I don't think. You know, they're a little bit worn down from the new ones, but I think they were still okay. So, but there was a lot of dust in here, and got all that blown out, so hopefully it'll work a lot better. Okay, so I finally got this thing put together. Got the new brushes in, put the motor back in. It was easier from the top, so we just went ahead and went from the top with the bolts, with that extension that can go around tight corners. So yeah, it's good to go now. Pull the e-stop out and put it in the raised position. Goes up, comes down, so it's good to go.